associating good people with, oh, I love the way they just like let everybody go before them. And I never liked that association. Going back to the idea of finding a place of opportunity a little outside of your comfort zone. So I wanted to talk about, when you show confidence and you just start to feel a little too arrogant, you feel a bit insecure, you feel like you have to correct yourself, maybe downplay it, go a few steps back, maybe there's a little guilt there. In the same vein, when you are finally assertive, right? You're not being passive anymore. You kind of put your foot down and you start to feel a little aggressive. Maybe you feel guilty. You feel like backpedaling, apologizing, maybe becoming passive again. Or you finally set those boundaries. You prioritize yourself and suddenly you feel a bit selfish, right? You feel guilty. Those negative feelings are coming about. In all these situations, we might want to backpedal. But this is my PSA to say, don't backpedal. It's okay to be confident. You should be. You deserve to be confident. It's okay to set your boundaries, to mean them, and to not allow people to walk all over them, right? Assert yourself. And it's okay to prioritize you. Being selfish sometimes, honestly, isn't innately wrong, right? We can't always put ourselves last. I don't think you should ever be putting yourself last. Doesn't mean that you're always the first to come, but it's just, you should always consider yourself as well. And that's not a bad thing, right? Considering yourself and wanting good for yourself doesn't mean that you don't want good for other people either. Doesn't mean you don't want to be there. Doesn't mean that you don't want to make sacrifices. It just means that you're also considering yourself as a human who's deserving of love and comfort as well. And I say all of this because I think a lot of the times when we do try to step out of our comfort zone of being insecure, being passive, letting people kind of disrespect our boundaries, and not knowing how to stand up for ourselves and putting ourselves last, when we try to step out of that, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe there's something to apologize for. Maybe there's something to feel shamed for. And there's not. That's that process of stepping out of your comfort zone. And it can be tough. But, baby steps, be kind to yourself. Check in with you as far as making sure that it is in line with the kind of person you want to be, right? Looking at yourself and being like, I am beautiful. Wow. That's nothing to apologize for. Or, when someone gives you a compliment, agreeing with them, that's something that's, some people might think that's bold. If someone's like, wow, you're really beautiful, and be like, oh, thank you, I know. That's so weird, right? Even saying it, it's like, people don't usually say that. Why though? Why is it so bad to know? Wow, you're really smart. Yeah, I am. And I also worked really hard as well. Like, it's okay to say that. And I think a lot of it also comes from the fact that so many people kind of avoid these really confident statements. So we kind of start to believe that maybe we just shouldn't. But if everybody kind of like had that confidence, right? Like, you don't have to only get your confidence from external factors. Like, it's okay to give it to yourself as well. Oh, but then what's the fine line of confidence and arrogance? Well, I would say confidence is more about you knowing who you are and feeling confident about that just within yourself. Whereas arrogance is more of like, I feel confident that I'm better than you, right? Like making it that whole, like arrogance has more of like a negative trend of putting other people down or thinking you're winning over other people. And it's like, just because I'm complimenting myself doesn't mean that I look down at anybody else, right? It's that whole mentality of competing with yourself and not concerning yourself with everything else. And on the other hand, with the whole assertiveness, right? So many people are used to dealing with passive people who, bite their tongue and like don't say when they're uncomfortable, don't kind of express when their feelings are hurt, when they feel disrespected or whatever the case. And I do think that that's why when people are assertive, especially if you have been known to be passive, You know, when you do finally stand up for yourself, a lot of the people around you may feel, well, wow, like this is so out of character for them, you know, and maybe someone would say it's aggressive, but that's something that you have to actually look at yourself as well, right? Are you yelling at this person? Are you actually being aggressive? Or did you finally set a boundary and stick to it? Did you finally put your foot down and not waver, right? Because there's nothing wrong with that. And you deserve to be able to have those boundaries set for yourself. And putting yourself first. We're used to so many people putting themselves last, right? Like associating good people with, oh, I love the way they just like let everybody go before them. And I never liked that association, right? I think it's an amazing thing to be so selfless, but the same way you care about all the people around you, the same way you value people and animals and the world around you and everything living, you also fall into those categories. You are also something worth loving and something worth everything, right? Everything that you're giving others, make sure you give that to yourself, right? You wouldn't look at little Timmy in the corner and be like, little Timmy goes last, right? Don't look at yourself like that either. But someone has to come last, not necessarily, right? Like there are a lot of people who navigate the world in a way that everything's situational, right? Like sometimes it would be against the self-love that I have to make a certain decision, even if that might be the ideal for you. And in other instances, it's still within my realm of comfortability, and it's not a disrespect to the love that I feel for myself to put you first. And I will do that, right? Like you have to consider everybody, including yourself. And I just wanted to put that message out there for all my my people on that journey, or all my people who have maybe been told that they're being arrogant or being selfish or being aggressive while they're trying to genuinely just kind of come out of something that they have just been doing out of habit, right? Like you don't have to be passive forever. Now is the time. You know, we are in the time of self-growth, and I'm here with you. And if the message fits, then power to you. If the message doesn't fit for you, that's okay. But yeah, I just wanted to put it out there, and good for everybody who is attempting to step out of the comfort zone, because it can be hard. And I've struggled with it a lot, and you got this. We got this. But all right, guys. Bye. Don't mind the finger.